Yes, ndewo. So ihe mere na m jiri bido another segment of the content of my diaries from the very venue or the resident place of my parents at Oshindero Street, because everything that I'm going to speak about in this channel, 99% of it comes from this very house. So this house is like a kind of epicenter of whatever transpired in the life of Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Nana Abara, onye Umagangunu. So akọwala m in detail about the position of that house. Like that house not there. Ọhụga papa m nọrọ bido life nkwanụgọ nọrọ finish as far as Lagos is concerned. So according to him. So that Oshindero Street, like as I was trying to explain in the video, it housed a lot of people from Ngobala. I'm not only talking about Ndengunu. Onwe any particular house on that it's not only in that street, honestly. The whole of Itire, onwe street Igeje and any house Igeje adonye adonye Igbo Igenweta, and onye Igbo particularly might be somebody from Ngobala, and then the person might also be somebody that I know. So this was the house I grew up, and I know a lot of things that happened around that Itire, and as far as Oshindero is concerned. So, and judging by the fact that Akowaram, growing up and managing with life with my parents, Mama bidro ire bread in the early days in Lagos. So Chiborudo, mwa Wuchukwudi, aga m agụrụ bread tiga na tray were paragaria jeje recha nga ahụ ngari ga na-ere bread ahụ. So that gave me that opportunity to be able to gather these informations that I am bringing out right now. So there might not be a general census of how many Igbos lived in each house in Itire and how many of them are from Ngobala. But for a person who was doing the kind of trade or the kind of practice I was doing at that time, that gave me an opportunity to give on-the-spot assessment when you talk about the population of the Igbo people and Ndị Ngobala that lived in Itire. So I'm talking from experience. So this house, many things, or rather everything that happened in the life of my dad took place here. Papa Mogranihu or Razu, it all started from here. So this is why I think this story is going to take several segments and several topics. But for now, I am introducing what has happened. I want to quickly go into it. Manashi, I clarify whatever people don't know. Adi anya parenwo. Adim intelligent in my own little way. Things when me, people will think that na amama hemega. Or at that time, they might think that I'm small and I might behave like a kid, and without taking keen observations of what was going on around my father. Aga m ewerekwanụ a particular segment again to talk about Sir Joseph Nana Abara. So in this channel, everything is going to be, I'm going to clarify and expose and speak about everything one by one, everybody. Because ala aruola, ala arụọla. So ekwuru m nga ahụ ihe ụlọ nga ahụ I mean that I was showing in the video. My mom was very, very enterprising. She was doing a lot of things. During the farming season, my mom may travel all to Owerri, to the village, then to go and cultivate. Ya cultivate cha ya lọ mama m ga-egba aka alọ, ọ ga-apa akpa garị, ọ ga-apakwanụ mmanụ, tini mmanụ or jerrycan mmanụ. So these things mama m agaghị apịa na lọdụọ. So o nwere nga ebe park ndị luxury ọ ga-akwụsị. Mama ma drop all those things there. So I will have to accompany my mom anyị je kpata ya, find a means. Mgbe ụfọdụ mgbe ahụ ya mgbe ahụ dị too small to be able to carry the jerrycan or the tin mmanụ. So anyị ga-achọ onye Hausa ga-apa ya anyị makwanụ dị akpa garị ga-adị big. So a ga-achọ onye ndị ga-apa ya anyị pakpụli ya marachi. For that period of time mama anyị sheshi lọ, adịghị garị anyị ga-eje zụrụ ebe ke nna ikwu Hero makwana ebe ke papa Emeka. Ndị ahụ mmanụ abụọ eji eresi ndị Igbo garị na Itire at that time. So that is it. So and then mama mpado mmanụ ahụ anyị nwere empty bottles ma just sacha nwe mmiri clean ya nwe up ya ndị ga-enwe egwushi ya chọkwushi tiga nwe, then gbaa mmanụ ahụ amị a ga-apafu mmanụ ahụ na anwụ achazie ya, anyị abịa gbaa ya inside the bottle. So mmanụ ahụ we don't need to hawk the oil ọ ga-anọ na outside. So ya hụkwanụ nke ndị Yoruba ji akpọ ekwo Igbo, yara ndị Yoruba ga-azụrụ anyị azụrụ. But in most cases, our customers are from the Igbo because na that area. So mmanụ was there, then bread was next. So the next one, the sewing machine in my mom. So I took the responsibility of making sure that the kiosk, something like Oshishe and Nongwila, would buy and move for their broken old zincs, move for their old cartons, anything that I could find to be able to make sure that I construct a place for my Gano original Adwakwa. So Mlodogano ma Medugwaneji, Nakwane Leji bread anya, while our mother was doing some other things inside. So while I was seated outside on Gano with that idea about how many people from Mumafakaja Eja Grosso in front of the house without stopping by to say hello to my dad. So I have spoken about that. So I have my idea about who my father was and how much he was respected and how much he was honored. So that is it. So the next thing I give now, the treatment Papa received and my mom from the Yoruba. So the Yoruba people were not very welcoming. They were very hostile to my dad and to my mom and myself and my siblings. So the hatred in the Yoruba was very, very much amplified at that time. Just Rubie managed to survive. So at Ramaho, Nakande Yoruba, at the time that na agame me had and this gonna ime had them only maybe him or anything, or just the normal thing no market me I baga ball the ball adaba na I mean je call a homoto mado mokano da na one area onye he sees here the ball. Mokano something anything ke agbami igbe mokano anya je rent a bicycle, I rent the bicycle na agbaje, then accidentally hit somebody. Then hachurum aga hakugide m kwuru m magbaba mgbe ụfọdụ aga hachugide m hachuba inside my mother magbaba inside my mother's bedroom jeje zuo n'okpuru bed, hand of arm n'okpuru bed, aga hakụcha m kwụọ m like this n'ihi my mother. So papa mba mama may report all to my dad, and then my dad issue warning. I don't expect my dad to go out and start fighting the Yoruba people. So that kind of treatment, can all go for though, I may make kite, all those kind of a thing, kiting with Daban and another compound, may macross or there, because at that time, you go now, only fences separately, Igorikeshi from Moshinde Rogagafe to Smith, from one house to another house, there was no fence. So I could just go to the next compound to pick up my kite. Then onye neighbor had already something like that. So it was so bitter. Papa m ji eti ga m shi nga ma ji gbagharịa ya mmiri a ga-eji saa ahụ. Maybe for some reasons, the well nke nọ na the compound anyị afọ ọrụla ahụ ọ ga dị dọtị. Ọ dị ma he good for my father to use to shower. So wapụrụ the bucket, then started to go to any of the houses that is in the same street. So aga m adọghacha mmiri from the well wụnyecha ya na bucket nakụ na-atrai ịpakwasị ya n'isi m. So the landlord nwe the house afọta ya shi m nwụsama mmiri ahụ n'ala with the bucket m fụọ. Then I just like consider it a joke, and then was just trying to beg him, Shiaji biko aga m achọrọ m iji ya were pajiri papa m wee jisa ahụ. As I was trying to beg him, ya just pụta grab all the bucket on my head and then started to shake it. You can imagine shaking the bucket while I was carrying it on my head, and almost in the process he was about to break my neck. So he would just pour the water away and then asked me to take my bucket and walk away from his compound and never to return. So it was like that, and nga ahịa kwa mama m rega ahịa nakwa na-eme business ya. Bread mama ahụ bread Igbo, then mmanụ mama ahụ ekpo Igbo, then ndị ejikwana akwa na akwa for my mom to mend and then patch for them wụkwanụ. Many of them, I mean the clients mma nwere were all predominantly people from our own tribe. The Yorubas doesn't patronize us. They don't buy my mother's bread. They don't buy my mother's oil. They don't bring cloth for my mom to patch. So ya rụkwanụ mgbe ahụ mgbe nna jikwa na-etoli aja then bidozie ịbịa na-eme ihe gbasara electronics. Ndị ga-akpọ m ije ya be fixila antena, ebe a ga-apali antena, ebe a ga-connect electric to the shop, and all those kind of a thing. People that were also patronizing me were those people that I have met during the days of hawking bread. Ha na amakwa that na adị m talented in ihe gbasara electrical installations. So ha zụọ fan ma ọ chọrọ ihe service fan ha with cassette akọliela, video I record the bride and all those kind of a things. So God began to bless me, and I began to get more clients among the Igbo people that were resident in Itire, and I became more popular collecting electronics and which I never learned from anybody. I started to work and then begin to get money to support my own parents as well. But in general, life was very, very hard for the Igbo people in Itire and in Lagos at that time. Living at Itire in those early times, and how much hatred that was shown to the Igbo people, and how I saw it and how it affected my life, and then also intimidated my father. And then the only rescue or the only shoulders for my dad to kneel on was for that of Umofakaja, and the meeting wherever the venue comes, and that this house was one of the venues na backyard ahụ now nkwa nke papa ya je he ga-ebi anyị papa m edi anyị eji ebe some of our neighbors aja na aja ahụche back chair, he set the chairs there. Ndị ụmụnna edu emecha meeting ha lakpuo anya return chakwa oche ebe anyị paghara ya. So that was one of the venue for the kindred meeting na jeme ma ya wrote the time ọmadola my dad. So that was it. So and the treatment my dad, I mean the way my dad jikwana hụrụ Umofagaja was to say that yes, my dad was proud to show that I am the people, I am the ụmụnna ya. So aja ọwụ ka gwọrọ ma ọwụ mmanya ma mmiri, as anything you can produce, you bring entertain your kindred. Ha richa anya just the sight alone that this man nwere people, nwere ụmụnna. So that is what my dad was counting on, or that he was counting on, just for the Yorubas to see that yes, anyị nwere people. So ụmụnna hije gather na that kind of hije gather na that kind of a forum. It gives my father that pride, and that kind of, my father was able to raise his ego to be able to show to the Yoruba people that yes, I have people. Adia mama mahana any plan of harassing and intimidating my father while he was living at Itire. And that kind of treatment was not just meted out to only my dad. It was also done to so many other Igbo people that were new in Lagos after the war. So we suffered a lot of things. in general. So I will now take this subject to quickly to what happened to my mother, how my mother fell sick, and in in the midst of this kind of hatred among the Yorubas, how now it became like my father became a laughing stock where it comes to be that na Jenebe dustbin, our neighbors, JJ Pikri, our mother. My father was walking around in the street, everybody was looking at him. A few minutes ago, they were just dragging his wife naked from the neighbor's backyard, and then from the other end of the street, I'm bringing my mom out, and some people were holding my mom, and then in most cases, I am the one. I could not go out. I couldn't do anything. All I have to do was stay at home and continue to monitor my mom. Me I fame, mama me, I'm agrala jema to places I don't know. Magana agari no magana joy na ju when you my mother, he should hold a bed dustbin. I pick here. She was eating from the dustbin. I would just go there and then bring her in situations where she didn't have to remove her clothes. But in many cases, she goes there naked. Yes. So aga m akọwakwanụ otu in the midst of this, ọpara ya wụ Mike ebidokwana ghọkwanụ milonia, nakwana agba different cars ya, nakwana eme oppress, then nakwana akwụdụrụdụrụ nke ndị shala bekee lọ, nwekwana aga m isi ala bekee lọ because ọ gbara ka lọ from ala bekee bịaka bịa gbuo ozu na Nigeria. So elekwana ụzọ o jiri gbuo ozu ahụ and how it happened and what happened to our mother soon after Mike returned from Italy. So I can move to the public for everybody to hear. But for now, I say thank you for listening.